in the books? Did it kind of go like you hoped it would?
Yeah, I mean, it's always it's fun to get out here on the field. It's been a long time since last year's training camp, end of the season. We had spring ball, but I mean, anytime we can get out here and get on the field and practice, it's a it's an exciting time. So just enjoying the day. I mean, as a coach, obviously, we up tempo practice and we're bouncing around, so we got to get in there and watch the film. It's the first day, so there's going to be a lot of having to clean things up and getting better, and that's what I've talked about. I mean, we just have to consistently stack good days on top of each other, keep getting better, growing. I mean, if we were out here and it looked as clean as possible, I'd probably be worried. We're going to have things that we got to work on and new players, and so it'll be exciting to get in here and watch the film, get better from it.
Is it me or a few of us were talking here today? This team just looks bigger, beefier, more filled out. Maybe is that kind of the impression you had physically for a first day?
Yeah, I think so. I think our guys look good coming out of the summer. I mean, I tell these guys, I mean, really for the rest of their lives, when you're coming out of the summertime, you're probably in the best shape of your life. You've done nothing but 2 months. You've come out of winter conditioning, and you're in the summer, and you've trained for 8 weeks in a row, preparing for this. So guys have done a great job getting to the weights that we've wanted them to. Some of that's through recruiting, just recruiting a few bigger bodies. But Mead Smith has done a great job. Mead has been with us the entire time I've been the head coach. I've not had another strength coach, which is super important, the consistency. He knows their bodies. The players trust him. So we're coming into camp in a good spot.
You get so much time with the summer now with the rules that go to your advantage. What more did you learn about your group this in the summertime that has you maybe more excited than normal to start a fall camp?
Yeah, and I think with this group, different than in years past, especially last year, the majority of our transfers were here all spring. We only added really two, Devin Cowan and Avion Gross, to the summer roster. So we've been together for a while, and time on task, is important. And so I think, the guy, this group enjoys being around each other, and that makes it a joy as a coach, as far as, it's not always going to be perfect, but when you've got the attitudes that this group has, you got a chance, because it's going to be a willing attitude to get better, people that want to get coached. I think when you see that our leaders, the P.J. Jules, the Bransons, the older guys, the Nick Bakers that are still putting in the most time, wanting to get better, I think that rubs off on everybody else.
Coach, what were some of the differences that maybe you wanted to structure camp this year? You said we wanted to get off to a quicker start last year. You guys as coaches look at everything. Was there anything that you went back and said maybe we want to tweak this to try to get off to a little bit of a quicker start?
Yeah, I think a lot of that for me has come in the off season and just really training the mind as much as the body. I think the training camps, the schedules are pretty similar around the country. We all meet and we all clinic together, and how many reps and what you're doing. So there's a few tweaks, but I think it's more of the leadership, the time that we've spent together, just looking at what it takes to be. We've talked about the word maturity. I don't think we were mature enough to go on the road last year and win a game with a lot of distractions in that first game, and we got a wake-up call. And so we have to make sure that we learn from the past. If not, then that's what they were. They were losses. You can either lose or learn, and so we've got to learn from those things. We have to learn from what were those critical mistakes, or what was it that we didn't close out games, finishing practices. This is the first time we've practiced in the afternoon in a while. In training camp, we usually are a morning practice team, so I changed that up for the first week. I think that really diving into the walkthroughs in the first half of the day, I think sets us up to have good practices. We've been out here. You can have in the first week, you can have an hour walkthrough, and we utilize that on special teams. I think it cleans things up. You don't have to spend as much time out here in the pre-practice time, so it's in and off the field in the afternoon. It's going to get hot out here, but we need to learn and train in the heat, and so those are just a few small tweaks.
With the coaching changes announced yesterday, how will they affect the communication and installs for the first few days of camp?
Well, obviously, when you lose a coach or a coordinator 12 hours or so before you start training camp, it's not ideal. But I think that as a leader, as a coach, you move forward quickly, and you have plans in place if things like that would ever happen. If somebody would get sick, if I would get sick, or somebody is in an accident or whatever, you have all those contingency plans already ready to roll. I tell our team that all the time. If I wouldn't show up one day, hopefully through the time that I've been here and with the staff, that things would just keep rolling as is. The culture is the culture. And that's the way that we are. I mean, when I say that, I told our team that when I introduced Antonio to the defense, who was really excited to hear that he was going to be the guy. I haven't lost any sleep over it. I think DJ Vokalek is an outstanding guy. I obviously appreciate his time here. Wasn't planning on that, but life goes on, life happens, and I'm really excited about Antonio. If I didn't think that there was a guy that could step into that role, then I might be a little bit nervous, but I really am not. I think that there'll be some growing pains at the beginning here. I mean, he was told yesterday he's going to be the defensive coordinator. Just getting all the staff, and obviously I told him he's in charge. You make it yours. And so there's going to be some things he wants to do a little bit differently than what Coach Vokalek did. Obviously, we're not just scrapping everything that we've done and the time that we've put in. And so Antonio's a really smart guy that will have these guys ready to play.
What makes you not want to lose sleep over them? What gives you the confidence? And also, why do the guys have that response when you announce them and they were able to just be so happy?
Yeah, I think, what I told the defense is that you're not going to play for a better man than Antonio James. As far as his character, his loyalty, Antonio's a guy that turned down 3 jobs with pay raises this past offseason to stay here. And that means a lot to me as the head coach in a day and age that doesn't happen much. And so, he's had the opportunity to go, and he's interviewed for head coaching jobs. That's why, he's the assistant head coach. That's what I said. If I would not happen to be here for a week or something happened, I would have total confidence that he would run the team really well. And so I just been around him for a while now. I've known him even before he came on staff, and so just total confidence in him, who he is as a person, number one, because that's what means the most to me. I have confidence that if I'm running the offensive meetings, what's being said and how guys are being treated from Antonio James will be what we want here.
And to not just what you mentioned about him turning down jobs with raises to stay here, his past experience as a DC, how important was that?
Yeah, no, that's crucial. It'll be really crucial for game day. I can remember the first time I called a game. There's some things and some nerves, and heck, I still, if I ever lose the nerves and the excitement of game day and calling games, there's always things that you kick yourself in the butt for when you're a play caller. But that experience in the moments will be important. And he's not just done it for 1 year. He's done it for 4 years as a play caller. So it'll come back naturally to him. We've got to do a good job here in training camp. Even for me going into year 9 of calling plays, it's always nice in practice for off the script. We have a bunch of off the script periods where we just have to call it from the hip. Our live scrimmages and kind of getting that routine of game day of communication, and we'll get him in. We'll probably do a little bit more this camp than we were probably planning on, of getting the coaches in the press box and kind of going over that game day routine.